Welcome to the April 6th meeting of the Carpinteria Planning Commission. There was some echo, so I'll start again. Welcome to the April 6th meeting of the Carpinteria Planning Commission. I'm calling the meeting to order and asking for a roll call.
Thank you. Commissioner Van Antwerp.
Here.
Commissioner Benefield.
Here.
Commissioner Lefevers.
Here.
Vice Chair Moyer.
Here.
And Chair Allen.
Here. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any introductions, presentations, or announcements?
Chair Allen, I do have one, and you'll have to forgive me. I'm searching for my notes here. I think I can do most of it off the top of my head, but I wanted to just remind or share with the community that this Thursday night, April 9th, the developers for the proposed Bluffs 1 residential project at tea time will be hosting an open house event at the Carpinteria Church there on Vallecito Road behind Rusty's. I believe it's from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening, and the intention of the open house event is for the public to learn about the proposed project, to meet the developer team, and as well for the community to share input on the proposed project or what they might like to see there in its place in terms of an alternate project or a revised project. So this is it's not a city-sanctioned event. It's something that the developer is putting on to kind of formally introduce their project to the community and gather some feedback and input on it. And we just want to make sure folks are aware of that and can participate if they're interested. Okay.
Thank you for that. And perhaps it's appropriate just to let the public know that members of the Planning Commission, if any attend, won't be expressing opinions, pro or con, publicly at that event. At least I would hope and expect that we would not. If any attend, it'll simply be to listen.
Can we ask questions?
Well, I think we have advice from council on that, so I'll just leave it at the letter that we received on that. Did you should have communication from Tina?
Okay, I'll read it.
Right. Yeah. Okay, moving on. This is the time for public comments on matters that are not on our agenda tonight, but that are within our jurisdiction. And I know we've received a letter, but first, are there any members of the public that would like to address us here present tonight? Okay, seeing none. Does staff want to comment on the public comment received?
Just to acknowledge that you all have received a copy of the letter from Mr. Garza about the Surfliner project.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, we've received that. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. The first item is the minutes of the meeting held October 6, 2025. Are there any revisions or comments? And if not, I'll invite a motion.
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And abstain from Commissioner Benfield since you weren't here?
Yeah.
Right. And then on the minutes of February 2nd, similarly, are there any corrections, revisions, comments? And if not, is there a motion?
No comments. Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we're moving on to our only public hearing of the evening, which is the Verizon Wireless Communication Facility currently proposed at 912 Linden Avenue. May I have the, first, I guess, once again, ask if there have been any ex parte communications by members of the commission that they wish to divulge. Okay. Seeing none, does the staff have a report?
Yes. Chair Allen, members of the Planning Commission, Brett McNulty, project planner, Verizon Wireless, their representative, Celeste McGinnis, has asked for a continuance for this item, so they will have more time to work with the County of Santa Barbara on identifying whether that their optional site at the community center will be appropriate for their facility. So they have their and Verizon has put a hold on their analysis of it, and they need more time, and they're asking for you to continue this item until your June meeting.
Okay. Thank you. I'll open the public hearing. Is there any member of the public here who would like to comment on the project? If not, is there anyone on Zoom?
At this time, if you would like to make a public comment, raise your hand and we will allow you to speak. Chair Allen, at this time, there are no public comments.
Okay, I'll bring it to the commission for discussion and action.
Oh, yes, please.
Commissioner Banfield?
Is there a status as to their progress up to date, up to now?
Through the chair, Commissioner Benefield, I can speak to this a little bit. So early on, following the February Planning Commission hearing, the Verizon team, some folks from the county, and some of our own planning staff were involved in regular communications and trying to provide Verizon with some of the information that they needed to be able to assess the site and its feasibility or suitability for Verizon. That was going on for a few weeks there, and then it sounds like Verizon's put an internal hold on all of their site kind of acquisition work while they were doing their own sort of internal due diligence process to reassess their maybe their practices or how they go about identifying sites. And so I think they're wrapping that up, and now they want to get back to continuing their dialogue and negotiations with the county, and so they're asking for additional time to allow that process to play out.
Well, it's no skin off my nose, but will it be continued again?
It could be. I don't know at this point in time how long it will take Verizon and the county to reach an agreement where they're both comfortable and decide that they want to go forward. And so I think in the meantime, right, Verizon's going to continue to want to preserve their option on the Sushi Terry building, but when or if things progress to a point that gives Verizon the comfort and the confidence that they need in an alternative site, then I expect that they would withdraw that application and move forward full steam ahead on the new site.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of staff? Commissioner Van Antwerp?
Can we ask Verizon for an update like in May, the middle of May, like a feasibility update? Like how feasible is it for them? Or is that
Check on
not?
Through the chair, I was looking up at the screen to see if we have any attendees from Verizon attending virtually. We had asked Celeste to attend virtually. I'm not sure if she is on or not. No? Okay. In absence of having someone from Verizon here to commit to that, I'd be happy to circle back at the May hearing as part of the matters by staff or matters by commissioner at the end of the meeting and just tell you, kind of from what we've been able to gather where things stand or how things are looking at that point in time.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Any other questions of staff by commissioners? Okay. Seeing none, discussion on continuing to June 1st. I guess one question is, will a quorum be present? Will we all be there June 1st? Or enough of us? I will be.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'll be traveling. I may not be attending.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll be here.
Okay, well, I'd invite a motion then to continue.
I make a motion to continue the issue until June, regular planning commission meeting in June.
June 1st.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Do you want a roll call vote for this?
Sure.
Okay.
Commissioner Van Antwerp,
Yes.
Commissioner Benefield,
Yes.
Commissioner LaFevers,
Yes.
Vice Chair Moyer,
Yes.
and Chair Allen.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Well, we're moving right on to other business. Is there anything that you would like to bring up?
Chair, I think we had 2 items under other business. They seem to show up on some versions of the agenda and not others, so I'm not sure if you have them there in front of you. But we were planning tonight to give your commission the chance to vote on a new chair and vice chair. And then also to consider appointment of 2 commissioners to the General Plan Update Committee.
Okay. So I'll invite commissioners to make proposals for chair of the planning commission. I'll step back.
Let me, I'm not gonna say, let me start over. We have a very collegial group here. You know, we all get along fine, and we have always sort of handed off the chairmanship to the next person in line. And for this commission, I think that works well. So I would, John, are you the next?
Yeah, I'm the next one. No, I'd like you to ask yourself, because of my voice,
Yeah.
I want to know if you can understand me, if that's a problem.
Your voice is an issue. If you could remember to speak into the microphone, you can be heard.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're going to get whips and chains if you don't. So I recommend John for the chairman of the Planning Commission.
I concur. If that's a motion,
Yes.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay. We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. You're on, John.
Yep, I'm on.
Wait, we need a vice.
What?
We need a vice chair.
Yes, next you need to elect a vice chair.
Can't leave you dangling. Is it Glenn?
So I would propose that I would nominate and propose that we appoint Jane Benefield as vice chair.
Oh,
Second.
No, you're, I gotta remember, I'm stepping, you're the chair.
you're the chair. Call for a vote.
I'm the chair now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we're quick.
Can we have a vote?
Where's your microphone?
Can we have a vote?
Okay.
Unless you need a roll call vote, you're welcome to vote.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Done deal.
All right, so next up, I need the commission to select 2 commissioners to represent your board on the General Plan Update Committee. I'm not sure how much work you'll have on this committee this year, since our main focus is going to be getting the environmental impact report prepared and out the door for the General Plan Update, but nevertheless, in the event we do have a GPUC committee meeting, we do need 2 representatives on that committee. Currently, it's Commissioners Van Antwerp and Benefield.
Okay.
I'm good
I
with
would
it.
volunteer if anyone's stepping down.
Oh,
Okay. If not, it's fine.
I'd like to stay. If
I'd like to stay.
Okay.
Good deal.
Save me some work.
Congratulations.
Do it?
Congratulations.
Yeah, I got 2 for here. Thank you.
Do we need to vote on it?
If there's consensus amongst your commission for Jane and Exie to stay on there, I'm happy to just take that as direction.
Terrific.
Perfect.
Speaking of that, is there a meeting on the 20th? Or is that a placeholder?
That's just the placeholder. We
Oh,
don't
good.
have one scheduled currently.
Thank you. Guess we're done.
Nearly so. So next up is matters by the Planning Commission. So this is your opportunity if you have any questions or asks of staff.
Through the chair? Through the chair, I do have comments.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in charge.
Threw me off, man. I didn't have a chance to prepare myself.
I would like to thank staff and particularly Parks and Public Works for taking up a measure that was discussed at the Carpinteria Open Space Management Advisory Board of placing portable signs around the Bluffs Nature Preserve, reminding people that it is indeed a nature preserve, and the signs themselves I think are really nice and positive. They're portable, they're relatively inexpensive, but they feature in the logo probably a heron, a bird, and I believe it's a heron as opposed to an egret. With the point being that loose dogs do disturb wildlife, and so that is one of the reasons, of course, to leash dogs, as is required by law in any event. But I think the signs are a nice way to get the message out. They're far more visible than what we have now, a reminder that is the law. And so far, they've been out there at least a week, and one, which is in the least visible position, has been removed twice, but the others have remained in place. And there have been comments on social media, which have been positive. So, again, it's a thank you, and hope that this assists in some of the issues that we've encountered with loose dogs.
Plus, the seal population is in decline, correct?
Yeah, the chair has reminded me, worth making the comment, that our harbor seal population so far this year continues to be at numbers less than last year, which I believe were at numbers less than the year before that, and so on for a number of years now. I participated in a Zoom or video conference with the NOAA marine biologist who is supervising the census using aerial photographs up and down the California coast. It was completed last year, the aerial portion of it in the photographs, but there are hundreds of thousands of photographs, at least tens of thousands of photographs that all need to be analyzed and the count made. There were participants from a number of other sites up and down the California coast. And along most of the coast, harbor seal numbers appear to be declining at other locations as well. None of the participants, ventured with any positivity, a specific reason for this to be occurring, but it does seem to be a decline. Our numbers in Carpinteria, whereas 15 years ago or so, you'd see numbers in the 300s often for a number of years, or fairly often. Now it's rare that we hit 100 adults out there. And the pup counts have come down, not quite as fast, but they've still been down each year. I think this year we'll see a high of 50 or 55, and I'll clarify. When we do the reports, which you may see weekly in the Coastal View, the numbers that are given are conservative. So if, for example, a volunteer records 60 pups on the beach, and the volunteers on the previous shift and the subsequent shift say 50 or 45 or something like that, don't accept that high count, because sometimes it's hard to distinguish adults from pups. They grow very rapidly. And similarly with adult counts, we don't accept an aberrant, really high count, So the counts are conservative, but obviously over months and years they can be relied upon. And there was one other comment that I wanted to make, which I've forgotten, which is simply that the scientist, who I apologize, I have forgotten her name, who is in charge of the census, anticipates or hopes that it will be published this year. And the last previous census of harbor seals in California, I think, came out around 2012. So it's expected that we'll see a decline from, in the Santa Barbara Channel, I think the numbers in 2012 from Point Conception probably all the way to the Mexican border were maybe around 5,000 for harbor seals. I'll be surprised if they're, in the 3,000 or half that range. We'll see. As far as we know, sea lions are still in the hundreds of thousands or over 100,000, and the same with elephant seals. I haven't heard of any significant decline there, though they are more susceptible to the disease, that we all read about than harbor seals are. So there you go, a brief education on population and so on. Thank you, John, for taking everyone's time on my behalf.
It's the shortest meeting in record already, so might as well spend some time. I just wanted to say that the tank is gone.
Yeah.
Maybe people that are watching don't know that, but I rode my white bike by there yesterday, and wow.
It's amazing.
Yes, thank you, Chair. You've stolen one of my updates from the director's report. But yes, the decommissioning activities are well underway. The tank is all gone now, other than the floor of it or the foundation, which will be part of the next phase of work, which I don't have an exact start date for it yet. We're still waiting on getting some final approvals from other agencies, but the next stage would be to start in on some of the decommissioning of structures that are below grade or underground or that are built into the ground. And so that'll be coming up sometime in the coming weeks, I expect. And then also I can't recall if I reported to you on this previously or not, but there was a related permit application to provide a separate source of power to the pier and to be able to turn the power off to the entire plant. And so the first phase of that work has commenced now, and the plant, the entire facility is now disconnected from electricity, and there's a separate routing of power to the pier. And the final piece of that will be that Edison has to come out sometime in the next few weeks to a month and replace a power pole along the railroad tracks there to facilitate the permanent routing of the new power source to the pier. Be underground lines from the power pole, and an existing power pole gets removed. So in that sense, it should be, no major change, no net change. But that will be coming up sometime in the next, say 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. And then also, we're still hoping that Chevron will have a chance sometime in late April to go out and do some very limited work on Tar Pits Beach, to go and expose the pipelines where they cross the sandy beach there and make a cut of those pipelines to separate kind of the onshore decommissioning work from the offshore work. And that would then facilitate the offshore decommissioning work to start up sometime over the summer if those cuts are made. If we don't reach our little favorable tidal window in April, then that work would be postponed until the fall when we have another favorable tidal window.
Through the chair, I have a couple quick questions. I hope we're quick. 861 was the big one, of course, coming down. There's still several above ground structures. Any timeline for removing all of the above ground stuff? And also, do we have any concept yet of how many trees are going to have to come out because of below ground contamination?
So through the chair, vice chair, or Commissioner Allen, you've been demoted, I forgot.
Not either of those things.
I don't have an exact timeline for the rest of the structures to come out. I think it's probably tied to the remediation, the soil remediation work getting underway, since some of these structures have permanent foundations and there isn't really enough there to keep them busy on just the above ground piece. So I think once the remediation plans for the soil work, soil excavation, are approved and finalized by the EPA, then you'll see the rest of those structures start to come down. In terms of the tree removal plan, there is a number of trees that were identified in the EIR that have to come out because they're in known areas of soil contamination. I think now all of those have come out, other than I think maybe either last week or this week they were working on like the final 3 that were right by Tank 861. So, barring anything like a tree dying or a tree falling, I don't think we're anticipating any additional trees coming out at this time.
Okay, good. And with respect to the pier, Chevron's obviously going to continue to need to use it to do the offshore decommissioning, and that'll probably be a few years of work. So maybe this is a kind of premature question, but any idea what other contractors may continue, or whether it's anticipated that the other contractors that use the pier will continue to do so, or what their timeline is in anticipation of Chevron ultimately leaving?
I don't have a lot of these details at my fingertips. I know that, a number of other entities do use the pier, Decor being one of them. And I expect that that would continue, as you say, for some period of time as they're continuing to either wind down or decommission the offshore facilities. And I think the pier may also still be serving in a support capacity to some of the other platforms that are still operational. Right now, Chevron's got a lease that I think is able to remain valid for a couple more years. I don't have the exact date. 2029 sticks in my head, but I could be off by a year. Beyond that, I don't know if they intend to seek to renew or extend it or not. We haven't had those conversations yet. But I know right now they are interested in maintaining their lease through the full term that's allowed for currently.
Thank you.
I have a quick question,
Yeah.
quick one.
Yeah.
Regarding short-term rentals and the ordinance in 2017, I think, what would the process be for us to review that? And does the Planning Commission get involved in that, or how can, I'm worried about clustering of single owners. There's no cap on how many rentals in the beach area you can have, STRs.
Yeah, there is. There's a cap.
There is a cap? Well, there's a cap, but I'm talking about per owner. Is there
Per
a
owner,
per
correct,
owner
correct.
cap?
Okay.
Yeah, that's where my question
I
was.
don't think we thought of
So
that.
through the chair, Commissioner Van Antwerp, I'm glad you asked this question. We are working with our city attorney's office on what's currently kind of a more narrow focused suite of changes that we seek to make to the short-term rental ordinance for the city, mostly focused around improving our enforcement and monitoring tools. So it would be things like increasing the fine amounts for violations of our STR regulations, as well as taking some of the steps to allow us to enter into agreements with some of the short-term rental host platforms, so like the Airbnbs and VRBOs, to require them to do mandatory reporting back to the city on any short-term rentals within our jurisdiction that they host on their platforms. And then as part of that, right, we can even require that those host platforms have to, in turn, require the short-term rental operator to include their license number on their ads. And so all this, right, gives us better tools, hopefully, to weed out unlicensed or illegal short-term rental activity. So we know for sure we're moving forward with, kind of this focused suite of enforcement tools. But I think there will be an opportunity for the city council and or perhaps your commission to provide us input on other tools or changes maybe that we want to take a look at. Ultimately, right, the city council kind of gives us our marching orders in that regard, and then we take those ordinances through the process. But I do expect that when we make amendments to the short-term rental ordinance, it will come to your commission, it will go to city council, and ultimately would have to go onto the coastal commission in some form for their approval as well. So we're kind of keeping an eye on things. We're looking at what other jurisdictions are doing. We're looking even at recent ordinances that go in front of the coastal commission to see how or if the coastal commission's taking a different stance towards vacation rentals, short-term vacation rentals. And when we get around to actually moving forward with this ordinance package, we can certainly have this discussion on, do we want to include, consideration of a cap on how many licenses one person or one entity can control. It's not something that's in the ordinance currently. As Commissioner Benefield noted, we do have an overall, cap on the number of licenses, but there's nothing to say that one person couldn't control, 4 licenses or a dozen licenses or what have you. But we have had this conversation come up from other members of the public in the past who say, hey, we should democratize the licenses, right, and spread them around a little bit more. So it's not off the table. It's just not something that we've been given direction yet from the council to actively dig into and pursue.
Got it, thank you.
I do have another question, a little out of the scope of this topic, but and I think it may be for council to advise me or us in future. And that's to what extent, if any, is it appropriate for a planning commissioner to comment during the preparation of the draft DIR when public comment is open on a project that may come before the planning commission?
Good question.
Because obviously we'll be reviewing that draft DIR before.
Commissioner Allen, that's a good question. I think that's something we want to run through our legal counsel, and then we can circle back with you or individual commissioners if they have questions along those lines. Sure, if there's nothing else from the commission. So in your director's report this evening, you should have the city calendar for the month of April, as well as our various activity summary reports for the month of March. And I think you also have ARB meeting minutes from 1 or 2 of the most recent ARB meetings. In terms of, kind of highlights or just a few key things to talk about, obviously we've already talked about the Chevron decommissioning project. I did want to mention, kind of taking us all the way back to the beginning of the meeting with the Bluffs 1 residential project proposed next door to us here. That application was called complete over the winter, and we issued earlier this year a 145-page letter evaluating the project's consistency or lack thereof with all the various city policies and regulations that may apply to that project. That will hopefully be the basis for ongoing dialogues with the applicants over, revisions to the project that we believe are necessary to make the project better conform to our general plan, coastal plan, and various regulations. We're also in the midst of bringing a proposal to the city council here this coming Monday to get a consultant on board to help prepare the environmental impact report for that project. And so that's going to be probably the next big work effort on that Bluffs project, is to start in on an environmental impact report. As far as the other housing projects, I think we're waiting on a resubmittal from the Lagunitas residential project down at the end of Villarreal. I believe they're close to being called complete. I think last time there was just a couple of items that were left outstanding on their most recent submittals. So I expect when they do resubmit here that we'll probably be ready to start moving forward with that project. And then the Ogun Road project, the applicant did file suit against the city, and so we're currently evaluating that lawsuit, but I'm not allowed to speak any more about that.
And then attendance at the next meeting. Will everybody be here?
Sure. Yep.
I will.
I will be traveling, so I will not be attending in person. I may be able to attend via a Zoom link, but at this point, I don't know.
All right.
I won't be here in person.
Right. For anything more?
Chair, we've got a couple things parked there tentatively, but I'm not 100% confident yet whether they'll be ready to move forward for May or not.
All right. We're done? Adjourned?
You're in charge.
Adjourned.
That's too much.
Quite a record.